I had arrived home from work about an hour ago, ready to settle in for the night. The rain had been steadily intensifying, and by now, a full-blown storm was raging outside. Thunderstorms weren't particularly common in my area, which always made them feel a little unsettling when they did roll through. I was curled up on my bed, watching TV, trying to ignore the howling wind and the occasional rumble of thunder. The flashes of lightning flickered through my curtains, momentarily illuminating my darkened room. Not long into the storm, I heard a noise from downstairs. At first, I brushed it off as just the house settling old wooden homes like mine creaked and groaned with the weather. But something about it didn't sit right with me. A feeling of unease crept up my spine, and after hesitating for a moment, I decided to go check it out. I made my way downstairs cautiously, my bare feet padding quietly against the wooden floor. The living room was empty, as was the kitchen. Nothing seemed out of place. Convincing myself I was just being paranoid, I grabbed my water bottle from the counter, took a deep breath, and went back upstairs. I had barely been back in my room for a few minutes when I heard another sound this time. It was unmistakable. A loud crash echoed through the house. My heart skipped a beat as I immediately recognized the sound. It was my living room lamp hitting the floor. It was an odd realization, but I knew the sound instantly because that lamp had always been wobbly. If someone so much as brushed against the table it sat on, it would topple over. But it had never fallen on its own before. A cold dread seeped into my bones. The storm wasn't strong enough to shake the house to that extent, and I knew that whatever had knocked over that lamp wasn't the wind. With my breath held, I crept downstairs again. Sure enough, the lamp was lying in the middle of the living room floor. I bent down, picked it up, and slowly set it back on the table, my hands slightly trembling. My instincts screamed at me that something was wrong. I looked around the room, scanning for anything unusual. Nothing seemed disturbed, yet I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. After a moment of hesitation, I checked all the doors and windows locked, just as I had left them. I tried to tell myself it was just my imagination running wild, but deep down, I knew better. Eventually, I forced myself to go back upstairs. Still unsettled, I muted the TV and focused on the sounds of the storm. The rain seemed to be getting heavier, but something about it sounded different. It wasn't just outside. It was inside. I sat up, listening intently. It was coming from below me. I slowly opened my bedroom door, and instantly, the sound became clearer. It was coming from downstairs, near the kitchen. Heart pounding, I descended the staircase once more, following the sound down the hallway. The closer I got, the more evident it became it was coming from the storage closet at the end of the hall. There was a small window in that closet, and it was open. I stood frozen for a second, staring at the open window as rain poured in, soaking the boxes beneath it. My mind raced. I hadn't been in that closet for months. There was no way I had left it open. Someone had been in my house. I slammed the window shut, my hands shaking uncontrollably. Then, I turned to face the rest of the house. My phone was still upstairs on my bed. I had two choices: run up and grab it, or get out of the house immediately. Every nerve in my body was screaming at me to leave. But I needed my phone. I took a step toward the staircase when I heard it. Footsteps. They weren't mine. They were coming from the second floor, fast and heavy, sprinting down the hallway toward the stairs. Panic took over. I bolted for the front door, snatching my car keys off the kitchen counter on my way. The footsteps were growing louder, racing down the stairs behind me. I didn't dare look back. I burst outside into the storm, the freezing rain pelting my skin. I barely managed to yank open my car door, jump inside, and lock it before shoving the key into the ignition. As I threw the car into reverse, I saw a figure in the doorway, just a silhouette against the dim light inside my house. I didn't stick around to see more. I sped off, dialing 911 as soon as I was far enough away. The police arrived quickly, but by the time they searched the house, it was empty. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of anything missing, nothing but a fallen lamp and an open window. The most chilling part? The storage closet's window was right next to the table where my lamp sat. Whoever had broken in must have been trying to pry the window open, and the vibrations had caused the lamp to fall. That meant, while I was sitting upstairs, oblivious, someone had been downstairs walking through my home, hiding in the shadows. To this day, I don't know who they were or what they wanted, but sometimes